Think for a second about um, what it takes to manage a live stadium broadcast
Yeah.
or, a really high-stakes complex surgery.
Oh, the logistics are unbelievable.
Right. Capturing all those angles flawlessly is, well, it's like juggling chainsaws. So
Mhm.
today our mission is to do a deep dive into what might be the ultimate safety net for that juggling act.
Yeah, we are looking at the Kiloview KVW-CUBE R1 9-channel NDI Recorder System.
Which is a bit of a mouthful, I know, but it's basically a half-rack width box retailing for about $2,499. And it is built to catch literally everything you throw at it.
And I think it's vital to establish right away that this isn't just, a standard video recorder.
No, definitely not.
It's a highly specialized command center. I mean, it's built specifically for those zero-failure environments you just mentioned. Like, if you have a medical team relying on live multi-angle footage, you can't just ask them to stop the surgery because a hard drive crash.
No, absolutely not. And the central problem of live production is really the absolute chaos of moving that much data around.
Oh, for sure.
So the CUBE R1 runs on NDI, which basically means instead of running these massive heavy bundles of traditional SDI video cables, you're sending high-quality video right over a standard local computer network.
Right, which is incredibly efficient.
But wait, I mean, sending up to 9 channels of UHD 4K resolution at 60 frames per second over a network? That sounds like a recipe for latency. How does this not just turn into a traffic jam of dropped frames and, out-of-sync audio?
Well, that is the exact problem this device solves, and it does it through how it engineers synchronization.
Okay, how so?
The unit actually uses a self-defined NTP server that stands for Network Time Protocol.
Got it. So like a master clock.
Exactly, like a master clock for the entire network. So when you hit that one-click record button, the system is stamping a unified time reference across every single one of those 9 4K feeds simultaneously.
Oh, wow. So when the editor pulls the files later, camera 1 and camera 9 are perfectly matched to the millisecond.
Precisely. And if you are an editor trying to piece together a multi-angle event later, that perfect automated sync is literally the difference between a smooth workflow and absolute misery.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It also has this 5.5-inch touchscreen right on the front, which I realize isn't just a gimmick.
No, it's actually super functional.
Right, an operator can instantly check CPU temps, audio levels, or tally status, which lets them know exactly which cameras are currently live all without needing a whole separate monitoring station.
Which saves so much space and hassle.
Totally. But, syncing the footage is really only half the battle. I mean, if a device drops power mid-surgery, that perfect sync means nothing. So how does this box physically protect the data? Because looking at the back of this unit, I mean, it's built like a paranoid bank vault.
It really is. Let's look at the bandwidth first. They've included dual 10 gigabit Ethernet ports.
Dual 10 gigabit, that's huge.
Yeah, those are massive data pipes, just to ensure the network never chokes on the incoming video. And then you have redundant power inputs, meaning, a tripped breaker on one circuit won't kill your recording.
Right, and the storage itself has to be incredibly fast, right? Because 4K video generates this massive tsunami of data, and standard hard drives would just instantly bottleneck.
Oh, they would fail immediately.
So they use these dual, hot-swappable NVMe SSD slots. That's the same ultra-fast memory you'd find in, like, high-end computers just to write the data fast enough.
Exactly. And they even have physical safety lock switches on the drives.
Yes, I saw that. The system actually requires a double confirmation on the touchscreen just to unlock and pause the recording. It's so paranoid.
And that paranoia extends to how it handles the digital files, too. It uses a fixed length or size recording feature.
Okay, what does that mean in practice?
Basically, you can tell the system to cap files at a certain gigabyte size or time limit. Once a file hits that limit, it automatically rolls over and immediately starts recording to the next file.
Oh, so it never just stops.
Right. This guarantees continuous recording completely independent of the camera itself. It entirely eliminates the anxiety of dropping frames while a computer tries to save a massive multi-hour file.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? I mean, it proves that incredibly complex, fail-proof media management has basically been democratized.
Yeah, it really has.
What used to require an entire broadcast control room is now packed into an accessible $2,499 unit.
And if you look at the bigger picture, technology like this fundamentally shifts the bottleneck of live production.
How do you mean?
Well, it used to be about hardware limitations, praying your system wouldn't crash under the weight of the data. Now, the hardware handles the heavy lifting effortlessly, which means the only real limit left is pure creative strategy.
Wow. Which leaves us with a pretty valid thought to wrap up our deep dive today.
Let's hear it.
If a single half-rack box can flawlessly synchronize and capture 9 different 4K realities of a single event without losing a single frame, how is this level of accessible multi-angle data going to change how we archive and interact with historical or medical events in the future?
That is a fascinating question.
Right. When you never have to worry about dropping a chainsaw, you can finally start looking at the entire performance.